by football? I mean,
It's our own fault. It's our own fault. Basketball coaches, by and large, you go to a meeting with basketball coaches and we can't agree on anything. And you know, the truth is, I don't mean it in the wrong way, because I've been one of those guys. I think I can say it where maybe some other guys can't, you know. We have Division III coaches in our meetings that don't have any idea what we do. We have Division II coaches in our meetings that don't have any idea what we do. And then you have so-called low majors, mid majors, and high majors. And there's a big difference. And seemingly everybody tries to protect their own interest.
so there's nothing that pulls you together.
No, no. We haven't done a very good job of that.
Coach, what are fair expectations that could be placed on KJ this year?
He's playing well. He's going to be our leader, Justin. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I think KJ's just got to continue to do what KJ does, you know, make open shots, and rebound the ball. He's our best defender. He's our best. I mean, really, he could guard a three-man, so-called three-man, better than anybody we have. He can guard a five-man better than anybody we have. So, just continue to do what he's done. I mean, the guy's going to end up, I don't know, that's what, conceivably in the top 15, top 10 all-time scorers, and top 15 rebounders. The all-time leading offensive rebounder. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, in a place like this, it's had great players. That's pretty good. That's a heck of a career.
He had kind of said last year that it was kind of a tough adjustment for him, being more of the focal point. Do you see a difference in him in that aspect this year?
Yeah, I think he's more comfortable with it. I mean,
Right.
he's, you know, Deshaun went through the same thing,
Right.
you know, and I think probably to a degree Joe Alexander went through it before that. But, you know, I think now that, you know, I think everybody wanted him to be Day, and he's not Day.
Right.
Any more than Day was Joe, or any more than Joe Mazzola was theirs. No, you gotta, everybody has their, the things that they do well, and that's what they ought to do, and they ought to stay away from the things they don't do well. And if everybody does that, then you generally got a pretty good team.
How much has it helped to have Dennis have been around this summer and been able to, you know, be with his teammates and do the Italy trip, and how has that all helped him?
Oh, he's a lot better. He's a lot better. He's in so much better physical condition. I think his skill level is better. Dennis is a lot better. You know, Dennis just needs to kind of continue to buy in, which he has. He's bought in a bunch. I mean, from where he was, and just continue that process. And Dennis will have a good year.
Obviously, you've been trying to push him to be a better rebounder over the time that he's been here. Is he continuing to make some positive strides in that area?
He had to, you know. Jerry's statue got as many as him in life. He would have to. Yeah, he's rebounded better. We need him to you know, go to that next level and get us, you know, so if he could get a 7 a game, KJ's going to get a 7 or 8 a game then.
With a young club, are the challenges more offense or defense? Where's it more challenging?
You know, it's both, really. You know, when you think about, the hard thing about our game is everybody wants to talk about offense or defense, but you know, you got zone offense, you got press offense, you got transition offense, and you got all those things defensively, and so you got to do all that breakdown and all that teaching. And then you got side out of bounds. If you screw up a side out of bounds, you could lose the game. If you screw up an OB under, you could lose a game. You can't get the ball in bounds. Likewise, you have to defend those things. And how many times do you see somebody's got to control the game, particularly early in the year, and somebody throws up a press that maybe you know that good, even if people don't respond to it very well. Or people are playing pretty well and cutting people up man to man, they go to a zone. And you don't attack it very well. And that's because you have practiced it. Guys don't know what they're doing. And it's even a little bit more difficult with us because things aren't defined as much. I want to try to teach them how to play and how to see things and react to what goes on accordingly. That takes time. It just doesn't happen overnight.
Coach, when you talk about having or being able to use more athleticism out on the court, is that something we'll see right away, a difference, as opposed to what we've seen the last few years? Or is it going to take some?
Justin, I don't know. I don't know how much we can teach. I firmly believe that you have to build your defense from the basket out. So we will continue to try to build our defense from the basket out, and how much further out we can go really depends on how quickly they pick things up. When we probably were the best pressing team in the country, in the early 90s. But I think what people lost track of was how good we were in the half court. We were really, really good in the half court. As that's where we started, and that was our base. We extended out from there. And I think what everybody has to understand is the further you extend your defense, the more holes there are, and the bigger the gaps. So you have to be able to rotate.
So, have you seen good half-court stuff then? A foundation, so to speak? Or?
No. I haven't seen good half-court stuff in either end of the floor. It looks good, when it's 5-on-0 sometimes. Until when you start playing and guys get up in you. I think we went 5 minutes without getting a shot. Both teams, 5 minutes didn't get a shot for the day. It's hard to win like that.
What kind of things are you going to do in the non-conference portion of the schedule to get all the young guys ready for Big East play? What kind of things you do now to prepare them for the intensity of it?
We're going to try to win. I think when this all shakes down, I think you'll see that our non-conference schedule will match up as one of the best non-conference schedules in the country. We have just a couple teams that at the end of the day, their RPI ain't going to be very good. I think the rest of them are going to be really good. We've got really a whole bunch of people who are potentially top 100 RPI teams. You got to win. For all that they tell you about, just get a hard schedule, you'll be rewarded for it. You're rewarded for it if you win. And if you don't win, you're not rewarded for it. And then, the risk that you take of playing the really good so-called mid-majors is, you're supposed to win. And if you win, it's really good because they really help you. RPI-wise, they really help you at the end of the day. If you lose, it's just another loss against a top 100 team, which isn't very good. So we got to try to win.
How are Eric and Jawan helping you guys in practice?
Jawan's really good because Jawan really puts a lot of pressure on the ball, and we need that. Those guys, that gets them a little more game ready, and he really pushes the ball. So they kind of understand what it's like standing back there and having somebody run downhill at you. And Eric's just, Eric's good. Eric rebounds it, scores it, trying to figure out how to defend. But he makes defensive plays just because he's so long and athletic. But there's not, KJ's not going to play against anybody a whole lot more talented all year. I don't care who we play. He's not going to play against anybody a whole lot more talented. So
is it hard to keep those two guys, maybe it's not the right word, but to keep them excited about everything, with knowing that they can't play this year?
Not this time of year. I mean, it gets a little tough later on in the year. But they're fine now. Everybody's fine now because nobody knows who's going to play. It's when you start putting 5 guys out there and the other guys stand there, that's when it gets. And then, in Europe we played everybody.
Any early predictions on how you think the conference will shape out this year?
I don't have any idea. I voted, but I can't remember what it was. I got a lot of input from.
On that note.